There is definitely some homophobia going on and people tweeting some awful things. We also have Jimin's new song that is coming out and people getting upset about that because they believe there's a gay scene in there. And then we have Jimin getting emotional and crying. So Dumplings is Dave, decide hater or not. Make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Make sure you join us fangirling on Patreon with some free content on Saturdays now, and let's go. The first one is very interesting because I think one of Jimin's friends talked about it and people have been laughing and having a good time about it. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it because you might not know. One of Jimin's friends, who I think is from 101, and I don't know how they met, but apparently they're really good friends, and he was going to go and say goodbye to Jimin when Jimin enlisted. So on the day of the enlistment, Jimin's friend was running a bit late and couldn't make it to the beginning, so I guess ended up catching Jimin at the tail end of the ceremony as Jimin was going into the camp. Now apparently Jimin's friend was stopped by the drill instructor and he didn't let him go in and actually formally say goodbye. And so this is a story that he talked about in a video recently. Sungwoo, Jimin's friend, when he was stopped, Jimin very quickly said that that was his friend, and the drill instructor still didn't let Jimin's friend go and say goodbye. I think when the story was told, Sungwoo might have had a different idea of what the internet would say. I think he might have felt that people would have felt bad for him, or that it might have just been taken in a fun little story type of way. But that's not how the internet completely took it. Now, while that's how I took it, and how a lot of people I saw took it, there was definitely a lot of hate around this, which was very interesting. The first one was saying that it seemed like the drill instructor did their job as they were just protecting Jimin and not letting anyone get close to him. However, these arguments were quickly rebutted with that it's Jimin's friend. So what's the drill instructor protecting Jimin from? Other people were just angry at Sungwoo for saying that he either should have been early or that he should not even go and say goodbye, and that they didn't care whether he said goodbye or not. They just care that Jimin is by himself. I guess, I don't know. There's literally people who say they don't really care what this story is, or they believe that the story could even be made up and didn't happen, and they don't really care. They just don't like the idea of someone mentioning Jimin. And this is very interesting to me because if someone mentions Jimin, it is going to be shared within the BTS community. However, to say that that is the reason why he shared that story is very interesting, because if anything happened to me, if I was just greeting a friend, or if I was saying goodbye to a friend and something like this happened to me, I would say it too, even if this person that I'm talking to doesn't really carry clout, just because this is something that happened, right? This is just gossip or tea or whatever it is. Apparently in the story, Jimin was very emotional and he really was nervous. And he was like, well, that's my friend, can I at least say bye? Or whatever it was, and apparently the drill instructor said no. Now, if this is true, then obviously this friend means a lot to Jimin, and to see all of the comments online that are insulting the friend, or whatever, is not good. It means that if Jimin reads about this, Jimin will not like you. And so when I read comments saying that they don't really care about the friend, and they just care about Jimin, and they're just the Jimin fans, they don't care about the friend, I still have to sit there and think, like, what do you think Jimin will think of you? Jimin wouldn't want you to be his fan. There's a lot of hate online anyway, and so I'm sure Jimin really wouldn't want to focus on this. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff online as well, but there's definitely some hate that is a bit wild sometimes. We've noticed some homophobia trend recently, which is very interesting. I think it's very odd, especially since none of them are confirmed to be queer or part of the community for homophobia to even trend. Very interesting where people's heads are at. So of course, we know that Jin recently did the Olympics and he was holding the torch and walking, and there was a wide coverage of this, and we got to see him during the whole event. Now, you would think that this is really not controversial. And there's really not much that anyone could say about this. He got hired to do the job, he did it well, and that was it. However, some people are critiquing how he was walking and how he looks at the event. Some people have talked about how he seems to walk gay, like calling him a gay term, and saying that he even still walks like that now, even though he just came out of the military. And they're supposed to be more quote-unquote manly. And this really irks me because I don't know what people had in mind when people came out of the military. First of all, the military can't make you super alpha. It can make you have more strength. It can make you do a lot of things, but it can't really change how you walk. It can't really change how you act. These are things that innately you do, especially at the age of 30, where you know yourself very well, you have your habits, you've been walking this way your entire life. You're not going to change all of that within a year or a year and a half, especially since in the military, they don't teach you how to walk. And this goes a little bit further in case you don't know, but obviously the people you see walking on the runway, the people you see walking on red carpets, this is not actually how they actually walk. Even the walk you may see on stage or even the walk you see in a show is oftentimes not actually how they walk in real life, the actors. So if someone knows that they're going to be playing a more manly role, they will start to walk a little bit more manly. They will exaggerate their walk. They will make it more manly, even if they don't naturally walk like that. So they're trained to do that type of walk to portray a specific character, but that's not actually how they normally walk. Now, that walk that Jin did when he was being the torchbearer, and that walk was very long. It wasn't just like a few minutes. It wasn't just like for a shot for a few seconds. I'm not trying to say that Jin isn't manly. However, most people don't walk and talk or look like the men you see on TV that are portraying super manly men. Most guys who are acting and who are in the arts are probably going to fall in the more feminine category. And I'm not saying that it's a feminine thing, but I'm saying that the more manly men that you're thinking of probably are men that you would consider working in construction, mafia leaders, or doing more of those activities. You wouldn't really think of them being in a show. And I do think Jin is extremely masculine and manly. But when we're talking about how most men in entertainment are to their core, they're not super manly men. They're not like these portrayal of alpha men. And I like that a lot. Personally, I think alpha men are a bit much, and I really don't like that. So to assume that just because someone comes out of the military that they're going to assume that their personality has changed is a bit odd. It's not accurate. It's not with reality. Of course, there's not all just bad news. There's some good news followed by maybe some bad news. But if you're unaware, Jimin recently is releasing a new song, and the song is called Who. The official teaser was dropped for this, and people have been very excited. So the teaser, he sings the line, "Who is my heart waiting for?" followed by some people putting JK in the music video, which has caused some backlash. So I think some people actually think that the official teaser or whatever will have JK in it, while other people who have watched the official teaser on YouTube can see that he is not actually in it. So let me explain what's going on. Every time a video comes out, a lot of people that follow the community like to make edits or whatever just to promote the song. And it works because the song or the edit they make oftentimes goes viral and it helps promote it. One of the viral promotions that the community did was Mashup 7 by JK and the teaser for Who. They took scenes in which you saw JK come out of the alleyway or going into a bar or a restaurant, and they added it into the music video teaser for Who. Now, interestingly enough, the two music videos actually look pretty similar. So even just mashing them together kind of does look like they're in the same video. So then those who actually did not watch the original video will fail to see that JK is not actually in it. So there was some controversy around this, with people saying that this was going to be a gay scene and this was going to cause a lot of backlash. And other people in the community saying that this proves that they are dating, when in reality it proves nothing because it's not real. And honestly, you can probably mash up any music video that is at night and that is within a city light or has a lot of neon signs and kind of just say that they're both within the same music video. From a marketing standpoint, I personally would have seen it as a great idea if they did do this. Like, since JK and Jimin were going to have a show come out for them, to have them both in the music video before the show comes out. It would have been a great way to not only promote the music video, since a lot of people are already talking about it, but since a lot of people are already talking about the show, it's a great way to promote the show. So I kind of, from a low-key standpoint, wish that they were both in this music video together. However, fear not, there is no gay scene, as it seems like just from the trailer, it's just going to be him. Now, of course, there could be dancers and whatnot in the video, but all we know right now is it's just him. There is no other person in there. So there's no gay scene as far as we know right now, and that is good if it calms people down, I guess. Let me know what you think. Make sure to check out Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks, just leave a comment right here. Love you, bye.